So hot. Thokozani, I am Poverty the advocate of Idlozi, and once again I welcome you to my channel and thank you so much for viewing my video on this super extreme hot day. I'm so hot, my face is literally turned red. It's just unbearable. So I know we're always complaining about wanting hot weather, but I can't survive in hot weather. Hot weather was not made for me. But anyway, well, on today's video, well, I actually wanted to make more content, blah blah blah, but life happens, while I was getting ready to create content, we got news that a relative of ours has passed on. I keep on seeing someone with the corner of my eye, but it's someone of unfamiliar energies, but he's wearing a cap. It's a guy, and when her PP goes back, gosh, our lives. Anyway, so we got news that a relative of ours has passed on. So that when my spirits just completely just went oing, and I just was like, ugh man, what's the point, but as being a content creator, you come in even though when you're not at your goodest, it's all about giving what the people what they want. So it brings me today's topic to how educated or knowledgeable are we about ukushona komuntu, and how far do we know what happens when it happens to us? The signs are always there. For example, in this case, the daughter of the deceased did come to our house, trying to find help, and they're a relative of ours. So we offered help, but we tried calling an ambulance, and we were actually not going through anywhere. So in such cases, you can't necessarily say to a person, the universe is declining and it's showing you that you wouldn't have made it to the hospital. But how do you say it? How do you tell a person? So I went there, as protocol observed. When a person passes on, you need to go there. But obviously, being the person I am, I couldn't stay there for a long time because I can't be around a deceased for that matter of time. So I came back quickly, washed my hands and feet, and sprinkled some stuff on my face so that I'm just, my allergies are renewed. But emotionally, I'm just, But it comes to show that you can pass on at any time. The question is, because umuntu uma ezohamba la emhlabeni, or when a person's about to pass over, they are welcomed by their family or their ancestors. That's why you hear umuntu uma ezoshona, they start speaking a lot of unfamiliar languages, or they start seeing things that you don't see. Sometimes they hallucinate, sometimes and they will literally be speaking about things that you're not are familiar of. And I mean, they'll see their families of late, maybe their mothers, their fathers. It will be the case. So it's different strokes for different folks, but there's actually nothing you can do about it, because it is a decision, a personal decision that they make. I always say nobody dies or ahambela emhlabeni out of ngesilungu, unless you committed suicide. But sonke asiyazi indlela esizohamba ngayo, but indawo yakho uma usushona, usuke usuvumile. That's why even you can get to a hospital, they can pump as much as oxygen they can do to you and put you in life support. But when you have made the decision to say, I've done my part, it is me. So I didn't want to, the reason why I couldn't stay long, because while we were there, I was seeing the deceased on the other side. She was there and trying to comfort everybody, because it is so weird that my job, sometimes it is so hard, man. But I just couldn't. So I just left. I came back and I just let me do this video, and after this I'm gonna go rest a bit. But it is what it is, there's not much you can do about it. So my thing is that if you encounter something like this ekhaya kunomuntu oshonayo, especially if ushonele ekhaya. Always say, if umuntu wakini washonele kini, then you are of blessed in that regard, because you don't have to go the whole route of, you know, the ancestry admin ushonele la endlini. So the first things to do is that if maybe umuntu died in alele embedeni, niyamehlisa nimbeka phansi. If bekahleli, niyamehlisa nimbeka phansi, bese nibeke itina like on both ends, so that anganwebeki, you know, or they don't stretch. Because what happens is that once your spirit leaves your body, this spirit or this soul does a lot to keep this body intact. So that's why we shed skin and all of these other things. So once the spirit leaves the body, it's important that you maintain the proportion of the size of the person, because sometimes they tend to they stretch, and sometimes it becomes a problem, especially when buying a coffin. So you have to look around those things. So nibegi itina just on the head, on the nasing yaweni. And my mom reminded me of something that I was, you know, literally not aware of. But umuntu agini fushonele kai niamgeza as though, you know, it is of normal. So just to make sure that they are intact, they are together. Because remember, whatever they wear to their last resting place, it will always leave that impact. So I've had people that have come to consultation and their, you know, deceased or loved ones have come over, and it's like, why did you make me wear that dress? I don't like it. So make sure that at least if umuntu wesifazane, they are dignified. If umama, you know, uba presentable, bese nimbeke phansi. I honestly prefer ukuthi maybe umuntu nimbeke ekumbini lala khona, but and then, you know, light impepho, light ikhandlela, seniyakhuluma namadlozi, because obviously now they are on the other side. And in the house, disconnect any TV, you know, anything that might be of, you know, distraction, because already there needs to be that dead silence within the spirit and the physical world. Because what happens is that isn't just fana, like these electromagnetic energies tend to disrupt frequencies, especially if umuntu has just landed on the new base. You understand? So it is a lot. It is a lot. I say on those days, you give the space, the family time. And for that moment, while you're waiting there, you're crying and asking them to come back, you're causing so much grief and, you know, and confusion. You know, sometimes when I encounter spirits like these, sometimes it's spirits that come to me that need help. So sometimes they just wander around in my presence because they are of good energies. And sometimes they come to me and they let me know what is their problem. And sometimes it's the dream. So yeah, am nice, ilungisa. So it is what it is in terms of spirit. So ezinye izinto esifana nokuthi niwisa itrasi. The reason that niwisa umatrasi is because now nilalisa umuntu osohambile okwaba phansi. So that is why nibeka umatrasi. There is a significance of that. So itrasi labekwa phansi, and kuba isikweliti if someone has passed and azange umatrasi wabeka phansi, because fana ukuthi nizilile nani nilalisa umuntu lono ngasekho noma isidumbule. So if I might put it like that, and you play a waiting game, wait for the motorists to come pick them up, and they will, you know, move around with their body, and at some point they're still trapped in the physical. They see you, they see them, they see what's happening, you know. They will usher off their body until bafika at the morgue, because sometimes what happens at the morgue is that it's a lot of, I don't know how to explain this to you. I'm trying to find the words, but it's just slipping my tongue. But and you go there, and it's like coming to a new place. Oh, oh, okay, sharp. No, you understand that. And some people are stuck in morgues forever, especially if or whatever the case might be. They will always have their bodies there, especially maybe if it's government morgues and all of these other things. So sometimes it's important protocol, especially in terms of amasiko traditions, like ukulanda abantu bethu and etc. And from now until the day of the funeral, it's mourning period. you are fanele ukuthi nishonile ekhaya ngaphansi kwengubo emnyama. Not in a bad sense, but you know. So when you mean they would believe the windows you must smear them ngomlotha, the mirrors are covered. Anything that is of reflection, you just show the mourning period that whoever it is that has passed on, and it is just a lot. So the question is, who will receive you once you pass on? You know, I know my ancestors are going to receive me because I'm putting so much work. It would be a scam, honestly, if I wasn't coming on the other side. There was a relative of ours that's also passed on a while ago, and she was attending my dad's church, Pentecostal, blah blah blah. So when she passed on, she was seeing her aunts, her grandmother, her parents, and she was not saying she was not saying this great white man. She was not saying that, so my thing is to you, your religion, your cult might be working for you now, but we look at things differently. Amandluze to prepare or rather alter the way for our afterlife. And you will not be ushered by, in my belief, you will not be ushered by angels in white things. Because what happens is that, what I know of truth is that there's always, I call him the death keeper, because this man, I've encountered him so many times. I've encountered him when my grandmother was sick. I've encountered him when my aunt was sick. I've also encountered him when my other grandmother was sick. He's always there carrying books he's tall, wearing a long black jacket, a black hat, black everything, and he's having books. And I think that's the person that now gives you that assignment. He's there to count you down and tell you that, look, you're wasting time. I need to give you a lift. He's like the Uber of the physical and the spiritual. And my aunt was fearing this guy because she's saying, Lona as uyangidina, he's always standing there. So someone would view this person and say, he's an angel of death, or whatever the case might be. But it also comes back to this thing, Yoguti, who's gonna usher you once your spirit leaves your body? Is it gonna be that man where who try to access your family and they like, we don't know you, who are you? That's why it brings us to the importance of umsam. That's why it brings us to the importance of connecting with our ancestors. That's why it brings us to the importance of knowing who we are. Sizbiza ngabobani, because lo lithakazelo lesi esizbiza ngazo ukuthi mina nguJongu yamgabha, uJongu yenzani, those are the same clan names that are being introduced to you or obongelela ngazo uma you being ushered back to the other side. And uzobongelela ukuthi welcome back, siyabonga ufikilana, or noma welcome back, you wasted so much of our resources over nothing, or you were just this cruel person. We need to understand that how I view life, Mina, it's always been this embedded thought in my spirit, even from upbringing. We are all a cast in this big movie, and there's always, drama in this movie, but we all have a part to play. And once the character, you've played the part to the input around the movie, the character dies and you're gone, and you go and inherit a new character should you wish to come back and do the acting. So what character's legacy are you going to leave behind? What legacy of your character are you going to leave behind? It just gives me a lot of things. So I wasn't coming here to be all deep and everything else, but I just wanted to offload the questions that are in my spirit and everything else. We are so obsessed, or rather focused on the aspect of amadlozi, but in reality it starts here. Now wonke lamadlozi had to go past the stage of umzimba uhlukane unomoya, and that is a painful side. It is a very painful side, and we all go through that. Some other, abantu, they choose to die in private. Abanye, they will die in hospitals of sicknesses or whatever. But stop being that person and saying, oh, she would have survived, or he would have survived. I always say if they were going to survive, they were going to survive, come rain, come sunshine. But if they died, they ugufa, whether you're sitting in a toilet, whether you're in a taxi, or whatever the case may be. And the signs are always there. Sometimes in Linin is a struggle. I know with us, when there's someone that's going to pass on, we struggle. Like, the struggle is real. I become so broke, it ain't even funny, you know, because ending that's the situation. We know good, oh, someone is gonna go, because so we know good, oh, we need to prepare for someone else is coming through on this side. So we work around those things, you know. Or for that week or that month, the signs are always there. Just we don't listen too much to intuition and listen too deeply what's gonna happen. I've been having the dreams, they were coming and going, and in my mind I was waking up telling my mom that whoever is gonna pass, my gosh, because like I'm tired of these dreams of death, of funeral, of attending a funeral, and it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. It just hit me now. Ugh, it's just frustrating. But what can we do? Because it is, at the end of the day, part of who we are, part of what we do, you know. And this morning I woke up really with the daughter in my dream. We were eating, and I was calling my you know, I was calling my I was calling someone and telling him that I dreamed of itulo, and all of that. This is what it was speaking about. But anyway, it's nothing new to me. It's my life. At the end of the day, it is what it is. So, you know, pray to your God, pray whatever. But it comes back to this question of who's going to receive you at the end. You know, keep on calling your ancestors demons, keep on calling your ancestors abantu that, you know, but it always comes down to that. And once you make it to the other side, you are gone for good, and there's no point of return. So it is things that we need to look at. And Ugufa is going to come to all of us. I did say that. We at some point are going to die. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be in 10 years, but at some point we are going to pass on. So it's about accepting that for a new generation to begin, an old one has to phase out. That's how I look at things, you know. That generation of stagnation, that generation of not wanting to fix is into the sekhaism. It's phasing out, and sometimes generations phase out to no end where there's no change. But what is your generation going to leave behind? What is your generation going to tell? What is your generation going to teach? It's those things that we need to know about. So I just need to go recuperate my energies and yeah, see how far the day goes. But I had a lengthy day other than that, because even with the work, you know, I was thinking to myself today, 8-hour job, you feel things that people feel. I had a client today, I was literally having the same. I had a client that was speaking about something eating them on their back, and I literally was scratching myself like a crazy woman. So I was like, yo, imagine people wanting to inherit, you know, such type of work. You become an empath, you become all of these things in one, because you absorb all of their energies. That is why after work I literally take some time off to rest, because with every person I see, I absorb their ancestors' energy, I absorb their energy, and I offload. And sometimes you think I'm on a break. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I'm canceling people, you know, I'm speaking to my clients. Like, it's just a lot. But what can I say? It is the life that chose me. It is the purpose I'm living. And let's journey on. And like I said, Guti, let's, you know, redo, let's rewrite, you know. I'm up for it. I'm up for it. I'm gonna use be the vessel for that, so that we are better people, you know. But it is what it is. So may we find love, may we find light, may we find rest in our spirit, and throughout this year. I know everyone has lost someone through COVID, even in the past year, or even if it wasn't COVID. But know that whoever and whatever, they are at their resting place. And then even their funeral, they literally will look at the finest details. They see everything. So you might think that you're acting up, dressing up, looking all good, and you didn't love me. I will see you, and I will know that, oh wow, yeah, understand that. So let us, fix ourselves. And then it begins. Once, so on the other side, now you want to be like, do this, do that, fix this. Now you're seeing that, oh, so much time was wasted while you are still in this period of not yet crossed over fully, where you now find a place in the ancestral lineage or the bloodline or whatever the case might be, the parliament of ancestry, what I'd say. You now are trying to fix back, and now so and your parents are like, but we gave you so much time, 50-something years of your life, and you failed to rectify one thing. Grab a seat, sit down. That is why you find, even with Amadlozi, not all ancestors come to the front, because just like all of us, we have designated roles in the physical, and just like it is in the spiritual. What feedback are you going to give back to your ancestors? So man, let's live while we still borrowed this life of ours, the scam of the life, and let's live and do best while we can. So thank you so much for coming through to watch my channel. I'll be definitely back with another video. Like I said, the channel is moving in a new direction. Anything. Oh, I thank you so much. These are my 2 new bodyguards. Like, yes, so I got these. I saw that you said you like the canvas behind me. Oh yes, lava shem abu bubes lam abai to abang baby. So they're always looking out for me, and they watching if I'm really delivering on what we agreed on. So thank you so much. I am Pabadim, the advocate of Idlozi, and don't forget to like, subscribe, leave your comments down below, your sentiments around death, just in general, and but thank you so much for your time. I am Pabadimu, the advocate of Idlozi. Follow me also on Instagram, and also I'll see you around. Tobazani.